Hey there guys, welcome back to BackPocketGameReviews, and today we're going to talk about the whole James Gunn stuff that's going down. Yeah, for those of you who don't know who James Gunn is, he is the director of the Guardians of the Galaxy movie franchise. And, well, he's also the director of a bunch of old Trauma films. If you don't know what Trauma is, you don't really like B-list horror movies with a lot of boobies. Because that's kind of what Trauma is known for. So, but Trauma are very dark movies to begin with. They're probably some of the darkest horror movies I've probably seen. Doesn't mean they're well filmed, it doesn't mean that they are well done, it just means that they are dark. So, James Gunn, though, recently came under some controversy because of some Twitter posts that are 10 plus years old. Yeah. So another person is getting fired over Twitter comments. Now, to be fair, I'm gonna kind of talk about how I feel about the whole firing over social media comments or firing over your own political beliefs and stuff along those lines. So James Gunn has not exactly been someone who would be considered friendly to President Trump. Not that that matters, because his political views have nothing to do with the movies or anything he is creating. So a lot of people kind of went after him because he is not exactly friendly to Donald Trump, which is wrong, by the way. And this is coming from someone who is center-right. I'm mostly center. I lean slightly to the right. But again, this comes back down to how we are sitting in a time where if you have a political view that is not the same as someone else's, all of a sudden I need to get you fired, I need to do everything I can to discredit you, rather than opening up some form of conversation that would possibly be able to open discussion and, make our democracy flourish, because that's how democracy works, is different views come together to find middle ground and find a way to appease both. Or at least educate people on a topic that they didn't know about and maybe they hated for no reason. But now, if you dislike or say anything against President Trump, I'm going to get you fired. But it's also been like, if you like or support President Trump, I'm going to get you fired. Obviously, there's a difference between the company just blatantly seeing what was said and then releasing someone over it versus people calling it out and whining and virtue signaling so someone gets fired. So he's someone who has a very different ideal than I do for the most part. And granted, I don't really support President Trump that much either. I don't hate him. I don't like him. I kind of fall in the neutral zone where it's I didn't vote for you. I hope you do a good job because you're the American president. And a lot of that was the same way I felt about Obama. But now we're at a point in time where if you don't like my team or my views, you can't be here. That's not acceptable today. Okay? All right? You have to like my views or you're wrong. No. That's not how it works. I say my views all the time on the internet. How many times do you think people disagree with me? That's right, a fucking lot. Now, the tweets we're talking about, I do disagree with his tweets. They were wrong. They involved pedophilia. Well, jokes about pedophilia, not him acting on or doing those things. But here's the thing. Those tweets were acknowledged before he was hired by Disney. He acknowledged them. He even apologized for them. He talked about them and explained, this isn't... I like dark humor. I've outgrown this to an extent, and there are people who like dark humor. I like some controversial jokes. I wouldn't say mine are so much dark as controversial. I don't really find the jokes he made funny, but they were 7 to 10 years ago, and he's now getting fired over them because someone's having a bitch fit because he doesn't like the president. Okay, he's allowed to have his opinion, he's allowed to voice his opinion, and you're allowed to disagree with his opinion. That's kind of how things are supposed to work. But due to today's social media anything you say will be used against you and taken out of context and made you look to be a shitty human being. That's just the way we're going. This isn't like the Guild Wars thing where they attacked a community member. By the way, for those of you who don't know that Huggable Hipster video, I do love Huggable Hipster. I do not agree with her point of view in the video. I do believe that the company had every right to fire her. It's their choice to walk away, and it's just like Disney's choice to walk away from James Gunn. However, I don't agree with people calling it to make it a huge deal just because they want a guy fired. Is that really where we've gotten to in this society? Is that really how incapable of accepting a different opinion or view we've become? That if you don't agree with me or don't have the same point of view as me, you have to be fired. No, these are literally people that set out with the intent of getting him fired. Before Disney hired him, he apologized, he acknowledged those. This isn't new stuff. Why weren't you outraged by them then? Oh, that's right, because you're outraged by them now because he doesn't share your political views. Really? Do you need to live in that kind of an echo chamber? Are you that incapable of dealing with a different opinion? Because that kind of makes you come off as a snowflake, and I don't really like to use the word snowflake, but that's the way it comes off. And I'm not saying this is just the right. The left does this too. It happens on both sides. And this is why I try to remain as in the middle as I possibly can, because I do have some left-leaning ideals. And, well, I don't need to live in an echo chamber. I'm well aware that my opinion can eventually be changed if sufficient evidence is brought to the table to make me want to feel a different way. Or if someone's able to argue the opinion well enough, it could potentially change my point of view. It's just like how I'm very pro Second Amendment, and I have friends that are anti-2A. They do agree with a lot of things that the media says about firearms, and through teaching them or taking them shooting or explaining different misconceptions that the media provides about this, I've gotten most of them to be relatively pro 2A. There's actually a video coming about that where I take one of these individuals shooting. It is what it is, and it sucks. I understand where we have a very fragile balance nowadays, and people all of a sudden just need to act like a bunch of children on the internet. This isn't like when someone goes, oh, I'm being trolled, oh, people are saying hateful things to me online. Look, I've said terrible things online. I have no issues admitting to that. Mine are still relatively polite. I don't really make that kind of dark of jokes. But I mean, I've gone after David Hogg on Twitter. I've had some of my posts shared by Dana Lash. That's the president of the NRA. I mean, it's really messed up that we're at a point in time where I will use whatever I can against you because I disagree with you. Really? Really? This is a grown-ass man that you just got fired from his job because of tweets he made 10 years ago. I'm sure if I combed through your social media profiles from 10 years ago, I could find some interesting stuff too. But am I going to make a huge deal about it and say you need to be fired? No. And again, so example with the Guild Wars stuff, that was the company saying that, hey, we disagree with what she did, and we're going to step away from this. This wasn't people going after her saying she needs to be fired. That was the company making that decision. Even with the Roseanne thing, where I disagree with her getting fired for that, I do feel that companies need to learn to be able to separate the individual from the art or even the company that they are representing. I get where the company decided to make those ties. That was a personal decision for the company. That wasn't a personal decision because of the backlash. That was a personal decision of, hey, we're gonna break ties here. Now, I do feel that a lot of people were trying to get Roseanne fired over that, but it's the company's choice. You don't need to influence that. This isn't like oh, let me boycott this shit. I'm gonna boycott this today. It's not like how I don't like to eat at McDonald's, so I don't eat there. I also dislike the way McDonald's treats people, so, It is what it is. These are individuals' lives that we're fucking with. This isn't like a company's business or their stock. You're just blatantly attacking someone because you're incapable of handling a different opinion from yours. You are acting like a child. And this is kind of to a specific individual who really started this particular hashtag walk away. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for calling out the truth and teaching people the error of their ways and getting them to learn about topics that they maybe hate without knowing anything about. This isn't that. This isn't that. This is literally people freaking out about this. And the only reason why I'm defending him, he makes good movies. Guardians of the Galaxy movies were great. I don't think he's a pedophile. You can make dark humor jokes and not live them out, by the way. That's possible. Do I agree with the jokes? No. Had he acted on those jokes? Sure, yeah, let's put him in an electric chair. But he didn't. He literally just made some bad taste jokes. Again, so did Roseanne. So I don't necessarily think Roseanne needed to be fired for that, but this also plays a part to the media. The media also makes these a huge deal. I mean, you remember hearing about the Roseanne stuff on the media, and hell, how many of the people on the media that were calling that out did worse things? But you know, that's how politics work now. Different opinion will get you. Guys, I would love to hear your opinion on this. Do you think James Gunn deserved to be fired? Do you think he makes good movies? Do you like to spank it to trauma movies? All very important and burning questions. But you can let me know down in the comments down below. We all know I'm active down there. Hell, I'm the party of those comments. I will respond. Most of the time. Usually. So, also, if you want to follow me anywhere, that's all linked in the description box down below because, you know, I've got places I like to be, like Twitter. Hell, who knows? Maybe if you really hate me, you can find something offensive that I've said for me to fire myself off of my YouTube channel. It's kind of part of the reason why I keep where I work pretty private. But anywhere you can follow me is down there. Also, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like. Those likes, they really help. It's what helps get me more subscribers, more viewers, more people then see the content. Also, if you haven't already, you can click that subscribe button, and don't just do that. You have to ding the little bell, and then YouTube's also going to want penis verification. You're gonna have to insert your penis where it says insert disc. They accidentally add an S. I don't know. Guys, thanks for watching. I'm gonna have plenty more content coming for you, and stick around.